Hello and welcome to another Isadora video. My name's Sam Meach. This session is a quick look at the Chroma Key actor. This is a very rough and ready introduction to keying out colours in different ways. Obviously what will become apparent is that to do this well and to do this right, you need to spend time preparing your setup. But I'm very much interested in showing you what you can do quickly and get going, at least have some fun with this. I'd like to introduce Queen Elizabeth. She's agreed to be part of this tutorial and to sort of demonstrate how this works. She's agreed to wear this green screen dress for the occasion. So chroma keying works by filtering out a colour. You're looking for a certain hue, which then you can replace. You can either get rid of completely, or you can use that space, that colour space, and replace it with another content. So it's very commonly used in action films with green screen studios to replace backdrops. But you can also use it to hide props or objects. I'm just very interested in playing about with it as a way to composite different kinds of video content, whether that's prepared stuff or using it with a live feed. So we're going to show you a couple of ways to at least find the colours in found images or prepared footage, or also to work with your webcam or another camera, and actually some of the problems that might arise with that. So in this first scene you can see I've got a movie which is a pre-recorded film of Liz in her green dress, and it's just going to a projector at the minute. But here's the actor that we're going to use, the Chroma Key actor. So I'm just going to route my feed through there, and it may not be apparent if anything's happened, but if you look carefully at the roses here, and if I turn this bypass on and off, you can see those roses are just sort of turning on and off as well. That's because by default the Chroma Key actor is set to look for a hue within the red range, and what it does is removing that hue. If I turn this inverse option on and off, it removes everything but the hue. So now we can just barely see those roses because they're quite dark as it was. But we're not looking to remove the red in this image, we're looking to remove the green. So we do that by adjusting the key hue option. So I'm going to click and just drag that up, and whoop, sorry Liz, getting rid of some skin tones there. Going to keep going up that through the yellow, and we should be hitting the green soon. Come on, there we go, it's starting to go right. So it's faded to black. So again, if I turn the inverse option on, we will invert that choice. So now it's keyed out everything but the green, and we've got this spooky dress. So let's put Liz back on. So you'll notice that the Chroma Key actor has a foreground and a background. So the foreground is the content that you choose to key the colour, and the background is the content that you can then put in that space. So I've got a list of movies, number 6 here. I've just got some flashing colour bars, and it'll become apparent what they look like when I just plug this into the background, into that space that we've got rid of, and we can see Liz has come alive there. Well, yeah, that's another debate. There's also a couple of details just here that it's caught. Now I'm not totally sure why that is, because they're very dark, but it's probable that they contain some green values. Again, this is getting into the finer details of chroma keying, which it's a little beyond me, to be honest. But a couple of quick fixes might be, in this instance, I've just used the crop actor to cut that area off. So I've cropped 30% of the original image. That's not going to be ideal for most situations. Another option might be in this one. I've used the luminance key option to get rid of the bottom 6% of the luminance. But in some ways this throws up actually when you work in the problem when you're working with chroma key and green screen. You're looking for really particular, defined, flat, bright colours. Let's look at another example. Here's a Rubik's Cube. And at the minute the bypass is on, but if I bring this into action by turning the bypass off, you can see the reds have disappeared. If I invert that choice, we get everything, well, we only get the reds, everything else has disappeared. I can then just cycle through the key hue, and there we get the oranges, the yellows, the blues. Oh, did we get the greens? Briefly, there we go, the greens back there. You see, that's a little bit more effective. That video is obviously got very flat colours in it, so it's easier to pick one colour and define it from the others, because it's nothing but broadly flat, very clear, vibrant colours. How do we apply that to working with a live feed? Well, frankly, with some difficulty. So here I am, I've got my green screen, which is just a tablecloth that cost $1.25, and you can see it's very pale green, and we can see that it's wrinkled. The sun is coming in through the window from one direction. This is not an ideal situation by any means, but let's see what we can do with it. Let's scroll down here and we should get it popping in. No, we're struggling here, aren't we? Oh, there's the saturation. Move the key hue. There we go. We're starting to go into the greens. Let's bring the saturation down. So I'm kind of getting bits of it, but not all at once, because this is not a flat colour. It's quite desaturated. So it's very fiddly and it's not complete. Working with something even just a bit flatter like this, these are just these foam play mats, again from Dollarama, but I should be able to find a bit more of a hue. There we go, and we quickly get a much flatter colour. But notice again, if I, oh, that's not doing too bad actually. I was thinking if I tilt it and adjust the light, you can see in the video on the left that there's a range of darkness and light, but it's managing to hold on nonetheless. I've got some other pieces here. There we go, we can move between them. And I've even got a mustache. There we go. This one's tricky. Again, varying degrees of success. Because, you know, these are not all flat colours. We've got light and shade, darker here, lighter here. So when we're working with chroma keying, it's best to work with consistent flat colours. But we can start to double things up even. In this patch, I've got my green. I've also made another route off here. I'll show you. Here we've got a red patch, and if I bring this into play, we've kind of got two separate keyed images which are then filled with two different backgrounds. Not ideal, not perfect by any means. This is a very sort of coral pale red. It's not picking up as well as the green, but it's a start, and that's probably the bit I'm most interested in is what we can do very quickly and get started. Obviously doing something well is that is trial and error. That's taking time to calibrate and prepare your surroundings, and that's obviously more than we can do in a 10-minute video. But I hope that's given you an introduction into the fun of green screening, and hopefully I'll see you again to explore this a bit more.